Morning. How are you guys doing? Good morning, good morning. It is Friday morning, December 6th. And we are creeping closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to Christmas time, aren't we? You guys getting excited for that? I know I am. Welcome back again, guys. We're going to take a look at the markets as we do every morning here and at White Oak U. And today I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at the Magnificent Seven stocks. There's a lot of things setting up right now, so I want to show you what's going on. Some of the stocks, they weren't ideal for trading a couple months back, but they are setting up now for some really good moves. So let's just get things started. I'll move my frame down there in the corner. The first thing I'd like to look at, though, is you know what? Let's put on a little bit of mood music right here, just in the background. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going to put it very faint. I could hear it. Beautiful. Love it. All right, so let's start by taking a look and examining the situation with the indexes. So things are looking good, as we've been talking about. Trends are to the upside. Okay, clearly trends are to the upside. Now on this 2-hour chart, let's take a look. It looks like there might be some momentum shifting here. Looks like demand is still holding though, but this trend line is on the verge of breaking. Look at that, on the verge of breaking. So this could be short-term momentum to the downside. Not that it's going to cause any significant shift in momentum, but it's something to watch for, because remember what we were talking about on the monthly chart. We're looking for one more candle here to push price upwards, right? This is what I'm looking for. So we need continued buying here. So that means short-term, medium-term buying. That's what we need. We need to see these structures holding. So if we see short-term, which is a 4-hour chart or 2-hour chart, if we see short-term momentum breaking to the downside, it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest thing that we want to see. Okay, and for this to continue moving upwards. But it could come down a little bit more towards the daily ascending trend line and then move higher. That's a possibility too, okay? But overall, markets are looking good. Markets are looking strong. I don't see any reason why it should change, okay? NASDAQ, let's take a look. Held that trend line really, really nicely, moved up from it, and it's looking good, okay? It looks like it's contacting some demand and pushing upwards. And let's see, same thing with excuse me, same thing with yeah, the Dow Jones. It's looking pretty good, looking bullish. Okay, so there's a possibility of short-term momentum shifting to the downside, but overall longer term, medium term moves are to the upside. Let me take a look at something here too. Okay. Right. Yeah, would like to see these lower time frame demand zones hold, because if not, if these lower time frame demand zones break through, we could get a push to the downside here, which would bring price to the trend line. It's not being backed up by demand. This could open up like this. So there needs to be new buying coming in here, even on the short term. Okay, that's what I'm seeing here. Let's switch that up. Okay, so let's look at the Magnificent Seven stocks. All right. Apple. I like Apple. I know I was getting some questions on Apple yesterday, so we'll take a look at it. We have a nice uptrend on Apple on the higher time frame, on the monthly time frame. Weekly doesn't present the best scenario, it looks like our target's been hit on Apple. Yeah, a couple days ago, our target was hit, our upside target, based on the structure, supply and demand structures. We located this target here quite a while ago. We got a long signal at 169, and our target was for, what was that, 240? So nice increase. What would that be? Let's see. That's a nice 41% increase. Very nice, isn't that? Beautiful. Okay, so the weekly chart is not that good in terms of structure. Not really good at all. So it's susceptible for a breakdown here. Um, if it was to start coming down and surpassing these levels here like this, that's what I would not want to see. But the upward trend on the monthly looks good. Daily chart. Okay, so on the daily chart, if you take a look here, I had a zone here. And this is what I wrote. Need to be out for longs. This zone needed to be taken out. Daily supply key. Daily key supply out for more upside, okay? Meaning that if this zone was to hold and momentum shift on the lower time frame, the chances of price was for a move lower. But if it was removed, then it opened up the chart for a move higher. And look at these three massive momentum candles here that we're getting right after this zone was broken through, okay? So this is the supply and demand dynamics. When you know where the buying and selling is on the charts, then you know what obstacles have to be removed for price to really kick into gear. So this is looking good. On the higher time frame, 6 months, it looks like demand coming into play, and we're getting two momentum candles to the upside, which is good. So the way I see things with Apple is long-term move to the upside, medium-term move to the upside, short-term move to the upside. But once structures on lower time frames start to break down, I'd be careful with longs, because we're getting to that point where after demand comes in on a higher time frame, and we get that big move to the upside, especially with two momentum candles, then we tend to see price stall. And after that stalling period, it could be another continuation to the upside or a move to the downside. The only way you would know is by looking at structures on the lower time frame, looking at the ranges that are created on the charts, and watching to see if it breaks to the upside or breaks to the downside with those key areas of buying and selling that come in from the banks. So Apple looks good for a continued move to the upside. Let's see. Yeah, I would say that this area here would be an area of interest for me. So I'd be watching for a move higher from this area if it were to drop down to that area. The trend line is not the greatest on the daily chart, because if we were to connect it, it would be something like this. So I would say that's an uptrend, but actually a weak uptrend, okay? It's not the greatest uptrend, and we have reasons for why it's not the greatest uptrend, but it would be labeled as a weak uptrend, okay? So Apple looking pretty good. That's the area of interest for me. Any pullbacks to this area, I'd be looking for long signals from there for a continued move to the upside, okay? Amazon, I just added to my Amazon position yesterday. I notified members of that ad. Where did I get in? I got in down here, okay? My first position here, you could see, that was my first position. So we saw price coming down into an institutional buying zone. So that's why I was interested in buying there. So first position was here. I let it break through the opposing area of supply that we knew needed to be removed in order for it to allow for price to go higher. So I added a second position, third because there was a chance that it was going to continue going higher. Once it started pulling back, I knew I needed to wait for it to react from demand to show me that the banks were interested in continuing to buy Amazon. So when they did that, past the previous highs, I entered into another position. If price drops down to this area here, I'll be looking to add one more time, because this is the area here where I am interested in watching price move up from. It may not drop down there, which is why I entered in here. But if it does drop down there, I'll enter there with a stop loss below, because based on the sequence of events that we expect to take place, this is the latest area of significant buying that we expect the banks to hold. Okay? Google. So Google contacted an area of demand here that we were interested in. We said this is a key area that I'd be looking for institutions to start buying Google from, and they definitely did. As you can see, price rallied up to the upside from there. So that was down here. But we had a couple obstacles here on the weekly chart, as you can see, that price needed to break through, and it did so. And so they came in with new buying right here. I hope you can see that on the chart. Yeah, you can. I'll open it up there so you can see it even clearer. So here's the buying from the higher time frames. They removed their supply obstacles. They came in with new buying. They dropped down into this buying area, and now they're buying again. Okay, so you can see how the supply and demand dynamics play out here. So as they are buying from here, it rallies up, contacts an area of supply. So what do you think needs to happen for there to be continued move to the upside? Removal of supply, and that opens up the chart for a move higher. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. As you can see, my friend is very happy with how Google is performing based on the supply and demand and the analysis that we've been giving to members. Meta. Okay, so Meta, incredibly strong rally, a lot of momentum candles on the 6-month chart. I don't feel very confident in buying at highs. I don't like that unless I see that significant demand has been coming in. This is just new demand coming in. Okay, this is what we call a force creation cycle. This is when a force is being created in the markets. What do we mean by that? A force is either significant buying or significant selling. They're creating it live, all right? And as they're doing that, they're leaving their trails behind. So we like to track what they have done so that when price gets back to those areas, we know what's likely to take place. But when they're creating it live, you don't know what they're doing. You don't know if they're going to start buying, they're going to start selling again. You don't know. So I don't like to buy things when I don't have the odds in my favor. I like to wait until things are very clear on the charts and then I trade it. So, you know, this one's moving nicely, but this can break down at any moment. I don't see trends here. If we take a look at the daily chart, for instance, they broke a trend here, right here. Okay, so let's see. So we have something like this here, and we have some demand here, and we have this here. This is a lower quality uptrend. Okay, lower quality uptrend. So it's not something that I would be optimistic about if I was to be trading. Let's see, I just want to change this trend line here. There. I wouldn't be expecting this trend to hold if price was to come back down to it. It's not a high quality. I know what a high quality uptrend looks like. This is not a high quality one. Could they bring price all the way back down here? I mean, if price was to get down here, I'd be interested in looking for a long signal out of there for sure. I would, but this is not a high quality structure here. All right, so I'm not very excited about that. And on the weekly chart, they took out. Let's take a look here. I want to see exactly where that area got taken out. Yeah, not a, you know, they broke the uptrend, and they Looks like they're coming in with new demand here. Something of interest. They broke the uptrend. They're reestablishing the uptrend. Okay, so we could get some kind of if it consolidates up here, okay, meaning bases at the highs, and then drops down to this area, this is a potential area for a long trade, okay? So I'll be looking for long signals from that area. I think that looks pretty decent. Okay, Microsoft. Uh, Here's what all you need to know. Look, right here. See that supply area? What did I write there? Need to be removed for upside. If it's not removed, I'm not buying. This is the range that price has been sitting in. Bouncing at demand and dropping from supply. So now it's at supply again. I would not be a buyer unless that area got taken out. If that area got taken out, then it clears the chart for a move to the upside. That hasn't happened, so I'm not interested. Nvidia, it looks pretty good. We had institutional buy zone come into play here. This was the area to look for long signals. $90. It's up at 145. What a rally from there. So we had supply that got contacted. It dropped. Now it removed supply. We have institutional buying here. It never dropped down to that area. So here we have supply, and it's contacted that supply. So remember, this could have dropped to the weekly area here. We would have been looking for long signals right here. But the fact that it never came all the way down there, now we have to wait for opposing structures to be broken through to allow for a move higher. And then we'll find our long signals, okay? So I'll be keeping my eye on that one. And Tesla, the seventh of the Magnificent Seven, we talked about the force creation cycles. Here's a significant force here in the market, so much so that it caused a massive move to the upside. But you see how this is happening live time. This candle is happening live time. It's happening right now. And I can't call up the bankers and say, what are you going to do for the rest of the day? What are you guys doing for next week? What are you guys doing for the next couple weeks? I don't have that access. What I can see is what they are doing now. And based on what they're doing now, I know that if price was to get down to here, this is where I would be a buyer, okay? I'd be looking for long signals to be produced here, and that's where I'd be a buyer. 260s, give or take in that area, and then with targets above. But until that sets up, I'm not a buyer. Just because they're pushing price to the upside now doesn't mean I get excited and I'm looking to get into a trade. I don't think that way. My brain doesn't think that way. After trading supply and demand and knowing how I should be trading for many years and being very successful doing this, my brain only thinks in ways of waiting for it to retrace back to their buying zones. When they do that, then I'm interested. So right now it's at the highs. It's great, beautiful. It's proving to me that the banks are interested in buying Tesla, but I'm not interested at buying it at the highs after they just accumulated a core position at a low. They accumulate a core position, they push price out of there, but then they usually stall price out and they drop it back to reaccumulate at that core area, okay? And this core area is between the 212 and 262 area. So I'm going to wait for price to get back to that core area, and then I'll be interested in buying, okay? All right, makes sense. Good stuff. Let's see. BMO keeps blowing my mind. Yeah, we had our eyes on BMO. Yeah, we had our eyes on this one. In fact, where's all my analysis on Bank of Montreal? Was I following the New York Stock Exchange one? Yeah, there you go. Oh, look at that. Our target got hit. Oh, no, just a little bit higher. Yeah, Bank of Montreal. Earnings? Yeah. Yeah, they've been buying since $80. So I'm not surprised that even though the earnings are mixed, that we're getting that push to the upside. Not surprised in the least. Look at that. Look at that move. Crazy. Crazy move. Yeah. Very good. Well, listen, when you follow the supply and demand dynamics on the charts, and if you know that the big institutions are buying, this is the beautiful thing about supply and demand. When you know that the big institutions are buying, you just got to be buying with them. Okay, so not too surprised by this. Big news coming out, non-farm payrolls coming out in 7 minutes. And I was briefly talking about this on the Telegram channel. Dixie chart looks weak to me. I think short-term move to the downside or medium-term move to the downside is what I'm expecting. That doesn't mean it's going to take off to the downside now with the data. There's a chance of that, but there's also a chance that, you know, the data comes out positive. Uh, the reaction is to the upside, and then banks come in and short it, and then it comes to the downside. There's a possibility of that, or just big push to the downside with negative with a negative release. Okay, that's basically what I am seeing, and I hope that is helpful to you. And yes, we have a Telegram channel. You got to join it. Go to our website. On the bottom of our website, you'll see the channel. Here, I'll show you where to find it. Look, go to our channel. Okay, go to any page on our channel. Scroll to the bottom. Right there. See the Telegram? Supply, demand, the Forex trading. That's our channel. Supply and demand Forex trading. Go there. You should join up there because we got a lot of stuff that we share there. A lot of analysis. And then we have a chat room that's attached to it where we have a lot of conversations and so forth. So if you're interested in what we do and how we do things, you should go there to get more information. All right? All right, guys. You take care. Nice chatting with you. Arrivederci. Have a good weekend, all right?